and welcome to today's very short but very important presentation. Today we're going to be sharing with you MASA, Medical Air Services Association. Now, MASA exists to help mitigate the high cost of emergency medical transportation while adding real value to your existing health plans. So MASA is not an insurance provider. We're a member organization that helps to make your existing health plans better by filling any gaps that leave our members exposed. We complement and enhance the traditional benefits traditional insurance provides. Again, we are not an insurance provider, but we are a member organization that provides benefits to members during medical emergencies. MASA Global was founded in 1974 and is the only provider to provide three modes of evacuation during medical emergencies: fixed wing evacuation, ground ambulance, as well as helicopter evacuations. We created this industry, the prepaid air ambulance medical transportation industry, over 50 years ago. MASA Global is a part of a group of companies owned by a capital investment firm in the United States. That company owns 300 companies, and MASA Global is one of the 300 companies. And MASA Global has 4 companies under its umbrella. Today I'm speaking to you as MASA Assist, the international arm of MASA Global that handles everything outside of the continental US. We operate in 16 countries, 48 states, and over 79 markets, of over 2.1 million members, and we're very, very entrenched and well known in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean region alone, every year we provide about 300 air ambulance flights alone in the Caribbean region. That's 300 members, 300 families that we provide this life-serving benefit to during a medical emergency. And all of these countries, we're well known. We walk around the town in our MASA shirts. They know who we are. We're very entrenched in these countries, and we've been providing benefits and services and support to these members for many years. One of the big questions is, do you know how much an air ambulance flight costs if you don't have MASA Assist? On your island, if a medical emergency happens and you need to fly yourself or your loved one, a father, a mother, a child, a spouse from your island to Nassau or Freeport to receive medical attention, how much does it cost you out of pocket upfront? And do you have that money to pay the flight? But an air ambulance can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $200,000 one trip. We live in the Caribbean, beautiful islands. We live in the Bahamas, beautiful islands. But most of the times, or sometimes, situations arise where we need to get from where we are to the hospital that can better serve us during a medical emergency. We could be in one of the family islands and need to get to Nassau or Freeport, or we could be in Nassau and Freeport and need to get to Florida. When these emergencies happen and you need to be flown out, once you are a member, we're going to provide that extraction for you at no additional cost out of pocket. I mean, we've heard the stories where parents and family members have said if they could have gotten their loved one off the island sooner, they think they would have survived their injuries or their incidents. But we want to make sure you're covered during a medical emergency. People always ask, how many planes does MASA own? We own no planes. We provide responses to members during medical emergencies by having at our disposal the best, the most reputable air ambulance providers in the world. During a medical emergency, these companies' resources becomes our resources. So when someone in the Bahamas needs a flight, we have an office in Florida that's going to manage the movement of these resources to the member in need. That office in Florida is going to now move and determine which aircraft is nearest to the individual, what aircraft has the appropriate equipment on board and the appropriate medical team on board to handle the condition the member is facing so that they can provide care in the air as they move them from where they are to where they need to be. In the Caribbean, we work with 12 governments and 98 government agencies where we are the provider of choice for civil servants. We protect teachers and doctors and Army personnel and people that work in the immigration departments or nurses, people that work anywhere in these government agencies, 98 different government agencies. We provide our massive membership to them, and they are fully protected once they choose to have us as that provider of choice. According to the 12 governments that we've interacted with for many decades, these individuals are exposed to MASA when they join the civil servants, and they are now able to jump into the membership program where they can provide protection for themselves and their families. We also work with very, very reputable groups in the Caribbean, large groups and organizations to provide our benefit and services to their members or employees and staff. So emergency medical transportation can be a very, very expensive proposition during a medical emergency. It's an unexpected cost that families are not prepared for in most incidents. They don't have the finances available. And when you don't have the finances, it delays services that your loved one needs to have. When they are delayed, it prevents them from having the best opportunity to survive their medical emergency. With MASA, you're 100% covered. There are no health questions. There's no age limits, so no matter how old you are, you can join. There are no claim forms and no deductibles and no copays and no dollar limits for emergency air transportation flights. So that gives you peace of mind. There is zero deductible. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to provide responses to our members worldwide. And we're very affordable. When you look at value for money, getting these 25 benefits that we provide is going to be a huge blessing to you and your family. So let's talk about some of the benefits we provide. The one that we're known for all over the world is emergency air transportation. This is if I was living on a family island in Nassau and something happens and the clinic says I need to get to Nassau, um, I'm going to be provided that flight at no cost to my family out of pocket. They're going to allow someone to fly in the plane with me once there is space, someone to hold my hand and pray with me during the flight. Once we land in Nassau, there's off Freeport, there's an ambulance on the ground to take me to the hospital in Nassau or to take me to the hospital in Freeport. Whenever I'm released from hospital, MASA is going to provide a one-way ticket back home to my island for myself and the person that went with me in the air ambulance. Once I use an air ambulance flight, MASA is going to deposit $300 to my account. It's called just in case cash. Because if I had to leave in a medical emergency and we have children, we may have to leave our children with my wife's sister. But now we can leave some money to help take care of the children while we're gone. Anywhere in the world I'm traveling and I pass away, MASA is going to bring my mortal remains back to my family on my island for last rites and burial. Not every flight requires an air ambulance. If something happens to me on a family island and we don't have the equipment on that island to do an x-ray or an ultrasound to determine if I have some stomach issue or what's going on with my arm and I need to get to Nassau or Freeport, then we're going to put that member on a commercial flight. If they need a nurse next to them, we're going to put a nurse next to them and a family member, and we're going to fly the three of them to Nassau or Freeport to see the doctor and then bring everybody back home afterwards. If I'm traveling on, say I'm going to Florida in Disney World and we're there for vacation and back to school shopping and I'm having a great time with my wife and children. We have some nieces and nephews with us and it's a great family trip. But something happens and it changes from a fun family trip to a medical emergency. And my wife wants to be with me to the hospital, but she has the children with her. She cannot leave the children alone, unattended, but she wants to make sure she's with me. Once MASA is contacted, we're going to have an adult chaperone come and take all of the children and get on a flight with them and fly them back to my island and turn them over to family and friends. So now the children have been removed from that situation and my wife can focus on me in hospital. If we rented a car, we're going to return the car back to the car rental company. One less thing to worry about during a medical emergency. If we were traveling with a pet, we're going to return the pet back to the Bahamas as well. Now, anywhere in the world, you can be visiting family in the UK, you could be in New York, you could be attending a conference in Germany, and something happens, you don't feel good, and you have to dial 911 for a ground ambulance. We're going to pay up to $250 towards that cost. In that incident I gave you earlier, if I was hospitalized in the US after a family vacation, during a family vacation, and the doctor comes into the room and says, Mr. Burrows, you did things went well, you survived, everything is going to be okay, but you need to be in hospital for 3 weeks. We're gonna, and no, everything is fine. We just need to monitor you and watch you to make sure there's no infection, make sure you use these antibiotics, whatever it is. As a MASA member, I can say, I do not want to be in the States for 3 weeks. I don't like the food. I can't see my pastor. My family can't visit me. I can't play dominoes in the room with my friends on a Saturday when they visit me. All of these things are going to help me recuperate and recover. Fly me back to Nassau and I will recover in the hospital in Nassau or the hospital in Freeport. And now my family and friends can visit me and cook sauce and bring me soup and come and support me in the hospital while I recover. So MASA is going to fly me bedside the United States to the hospital room in the Bahamas where I can recover their family and friends. Once I've been extracted in an air ambulance flight and I spent 7 days in hospital, when I first left my island, my wife went with me. I've been in hospital now 7 days. I can now have someone else visit me. My mother, my daughter can now come and see me round trip and we're going to reimburse her for the cost of the ticket. And whatever she spends, up to $250 while she was visiting me, whether it was meals or taxi or towards her transportation or her accommodation, we're going to pay up to $250 towards that as well. She produces her receipts and we're going to pay her that money back. If I need an organ, they're going to fly me to the organ or they're going to bring the organ to me for an organ transplant to take place. If I'm in the US or if I'm in a hospital in Nassau and I need to transfer from the hospital to another facility to have something done and I have to go by ambulance, we're going to also pay up to $250 to have that transportation provided so that I can have those tests done and then get me back to the hospital. We also offer concierge services where if I'm traveling and I lose my luggage, MASA is going to work with the airline company to find and recover your luggage. If you lost your travel documents, they're going to work to get your travel documents replaced so that you can continue your travel. And if you get in a situation where you need legal counsel, we're not going to pay the legal fees, but MASA is going to connect you or provide you with representation that you can trust. Because remember now you're away from home, so they're going to provide you with representation you can trust that won't take advantage of you financially, but more importantly, that will do what you need them to do from a legal standpoint while you're away from home. So these are just some of the 25 benefits we provide, and they are all complimentary once you are up to date with your member status. Now, our memberships start from as little as $30 a month for a single individual and $40 a month for a family. That's before taxes. So that's less than $1 a day, and it provides you and your family with the peace of mind and all of those benefits we discussed earlier. But let's get into the real options of the membership in the Bahamas. We have two options. The first option is called Caribbean Plus memberships. This is for family island residents only. So it excludes Grand Bahama and it excludes Nassau and New Providence. You get all 25 benefits. The difference is if something happens to you in a family island, we're going to fly you to either Nassau or Freeport, whichever of those two islands are closest to you. During a medical emergency, we're going to get you there because you need to get to the nearest hospital that can provide the care you need. So we're going to take you from your family island to the nearest hospital that can handle your situation. A single person with no children it costs $360 for the year, and an individual can also choose to pay monthly, where it's $30 a month, right? That's before that. A family is $480 a year or $40 a month. That's all 25 benefits. The next membership takes you from Freeport or Grand Bahama to the US, or from Nassau to the US. Same 25 benefits. The difference is where we take you. We take you to Nassau, Florida, during a medical emergency. Let me give you the prices with the VAT included so you don't get confused, okay? So USA Direct Plus, which takes you to from Nassau and Freeport, right? It takes you from Nassau and Freeport to the US. This membership is only sold to people that live in Nassau and Freeport. And if something happens, we're going to fly you to Florida. A single person without children pays $594 for the year. Single person, that's $1.63 a day. A family pays $726 for the year. That's $1.99 a day. What is a family? Husband and wife, his children and her children, any children they have together. We cover all children up to age 18. Once a child turns 18, if they're not in college or university, they need to get a single membership. If a child turns 18 and they go into school to COB or BTVI, I got to confirm that, but if they're in college or university in the States, then they can be covered under the family plan until they get 23 years of age. Now, if someone pays annually, they don't have to worry about their membership for an entire year. They can just forget about it. They're covered. Some individuals choose to pay monthly. A single person in Nassau or Freeport pays $46.75 a month. A family pays $57.75 a month. There is no limit to a family. Once those children are under those age requirements, or if you're the legal guardian for children, you may have nieces and nephews that live with you, and you're the legal guardian, they can be included under your family plan. If you live in the family island, then you get the Caribbean Plus membership. The monthly rate for a single person with no children is $35.75 a month. The monthly rate for a family is $46.75 a month. Annually, if you want to pay for the membership annually, for a single person, it's $462. If you live in the family island, that's all you pay for the year. That's $1.27 a day. And a family pays $594 or $1.63 a day. So you're looking at $1.63, $1.27 or $1.63 and $1.99. I mean, very, very affordable a day. That's just pennies a day to provide 25 life-saving benefits to you and your loved ones. We offer multiple ways to pay. We have online banking. You can call on the telephone and use your credit card or your debit card. You can visit SunCash. We have 37 SunCash locations you can visit. We have a member portal. You can go in the member portal and make your first payment. Once you make your first payment in the member portal, and you have your member number, you can now also use the mobile app in the palm of your hand that allows you to pay your membership through an app on your phone. Enrollment is very easy. It's a simple one-page application. There are no health questions. We always tell members when they're joining, pre-existing conditions are covered after 90 days. So if I have a history of diabetes, of heart issues, I will not be covered for that condition until day 91. If something happens on day 91, I can be flown for that condition. But if I enroll in MASA and something happens that's not related, I get into a car accident, I have a slip and fall, it's not related to my diabetes, I am covered and will be flown. You only wait 90 days for the pre-existing condition. We don't say no, because you have that condition. We just say wait 90 days. On day 91, you're covered. All we need is your name, date of birth, telephone number, email address, physical address, the names and date of births for the people that are going to be on your plan, whether it's your spouse or your children, and your signature, and that's it. We also ask for an ID of the adults only. And you're going to receive a welcome email that's going to contain an electronic brochure with the benefits explained, our contract where you can, it's called the MSA, Member Service Agreement, where you can actually see what our benefits are in legal terminology. And it explains all of your benefits. And you also get a photo of your member card. You can take a picture of that and download it in WhatsApp. You can print it and put it on your refrigerator. You can send it to your doctor. You can give it to the clinic. Everybody knows if something happens to you or your family, you have MASA. You're also going to get an email with a link to the MASA app, which allows you to now set up your payments on your phone and also check in with your membership status on your phone. The MASA timeline for international travel transfers, when we have to transfer someone to the US, we understand that when a member calls, it's a life-saving situation. So we spring into action very quickly. Once that member is stable and they have a receiving hospital, they have clearance, they have admittance, we know where we're gonna take that individual. We work with the sending hospital, the sending doctor, and the receiving hospital to make sure everything is straight. We pass on all of the status reports on the patients. We interact and and mediate on behalf of the family so that they don't need to be making phone calls. We're going to do everything behind the scenes and keep everyone updated on where we are in the transportation process. So we operate very quickly to get the member from where they are to where they need to be. So again, there are 25 benefits all around the transportation uh, side of things and the concierge. And we have a very simple how to initiate an ambulance transfer document that tells you how we spring into action when a member needs us. Now on our website, www.masaassist.com, we have excellent testimonials and videos of people telling their story, sharing what happened to them and their family members, how their backs were against the wall, and how MASA provided that extraction at no cost, and how the individuals survived or came out of that situation as a result of being able to tap into that flight. So these are the four main reasons people choose to join our membership. We have over 2 million members. And so they know we're reliable. They can count on us. The protection we provide not only to their health, but also their finances. The affordability, the value for money, the life-saving benefits that we provide for just over $1 a day. The peace of mind, knowing and understanding that if something happens to my child or my wife or my spouse, I'm covered. I'm going to get that flight off this island to where we need to be. So we invite you to join us. We provide peace of mind when it matters most. So please take advantage of this opportunity. Get with the person that asked you to watch this presentation and get yourself and your family protected today. We know medical emergencies will happen. We just don't know when. And are you prepared when a medical emergency strikes? Thank you.